Ambassador Bolton, can you comment on what we can do at this late juncture to stop a nuclear Iran? And secondly, assuming they get it, what impact would that have on this Arab Spring phenomena in the region?
Well, I think we're very late in the game. I think, in fact, it is too late to do much of anything, even from cyber attacks. If you look at the production figures for low-enriched uranium from the latest IAEA report last month, it's up dramatically from 2009. It's up substantially from the report earlier this year. They're going to introduce more sophisticated centrifuges. They're now obviously aware of the possibility of cyber attack, and I don't doubt they've instituted countermeasures. I think that this proceeding toward nuclear capability is something that is going to proceed even with the Arab Spring, or maybe even accelerated by it. And it's one of the reasons that even the prospect of democratic change in Iran concerns me. If you imagine Iran, let's say in the next year, achieving nuclear weapons status, but then imagining the regime falling and seeing the creation of a representative government there, I'm not sure that representative government in Iran would convince Saudi Arabia not to get nuclear weapons if the new government in Iran kept theirs. So that this risk of proliferation triggered by an Iranian success in achieving nuclear weapons is an enormous red line to cross, and we should not underestimate it. It's not simply a question of one country getting nuclear weapons. It's a risk of half a dozen nuclear weapon states in the Middle East in very short order thereafter.
And I agree, and I also want to associate myself with the remarks of Madam Chair on the Caracas Tehran connection. That greatly concerns me. I've had lawmakers from Latin America tell me uranium's being shipped from Latin America to Iran, and that's of great concern. Let me switch to another topic that a lot of people haven't focused on. That's Azerbaijan. I met with Dr. George Friedman from Stratford yesterday. Obviously, they're an ally. They are pro-Israel. They have been an ally in our wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. They're close to Iran. And yet, according to Dr. Friedman, they are sort of being shunned by the State Department in their ability to purchase military weapons. It seems to me that they're very strategically placed in the Middle East, and he believes this is one of the key sort of cornerstones in the Middle East that we're not paying enough attention to and needs to be stressed, I think, more. Ambassador Bolton, do you have any thoughts on that?
I think our policy with respect to Azerbaijan does need to be modified. Obviously, this is complicated by the conflict with Armenia and the range of disagreements with their internal policy there. But precisely for the reason that you mentioned, given Azerbaijan's access to Black Sea oil and natural gas assets, the importance of the Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan pipeline route, and just its geographical location, I think this is a place where one of these frozen conflicts, as they say, between Azerbaijan and Armenia needs more U.S. attention. I mean, I know there are a lot of things going on in the world, but this is, in the space of the former Soviet Union, one of enormous strategic significance to us. I don't think we can forget what Prime Minister Putin said a few years ago when he was still president of Russia, that the collapse of the Soviet Union was the greatest geopolitical catastrophe of the 20th century. And I think most of us think it was a great way to end the 20th century. That's obviously not Putin's view. And his effort, as we've seen by the Russian attack on Georgia, is at a minimum to reestablish Russian hegemony in the space of the former Soviet Union. It's very much in our interest to prevent that.
Thank you very much, Mr. McCaul. Mr. Sears.